welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly love outlook for Pisces and their person. So this is an outlook where I'm going to be pulling cards for Pisces and their other person in their life. So it's for certainly someone who is either connected to someone in a relationship, or you have your eye on someone. The relationship itself may not have actually started just yet, but there is a connection, right? So this is a love connection, possible love connection outlook for March 1st to the 8th for the water sign of Pisces. Now, I've already been shuffling off camera quite a bit and meditating, so we're ready to cut your deck and get right into your spread, Pisces. And straight out, your person is resonating with Knight of Wands, and you are resonating with Strength. They see you as a Knight of Cups, and you see them as a Seven of Swords. Ooh. They see the relationship as Sun energy, and you see it as an Ace of Swords. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm concerned about that Seven of Swords energy here that you have, but we'll get into it. Bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. So certainly indicating a new chapter coming into your life with that Fool energy. You know what? I'm going to put that over here. All right, guys, make it a little bit easier. So we're definitely talking about a relationship that is new, a feeling of newness, a feeling of usefulness, right? With that Fool coming in. The Fool is one of these cards. It always represents the querent, right? The person that we are reading for. So the Fool is definitely indicating that you are making a life shift, right? A stage shift to a new stage or path in your life. Certainly with regard to this love connection. So let's get right into it, Pisces. Your person is resonating with Knight of Wands, and you're resonating with Strength. So they are right now extremely sort of enthusiastic and passionate. Your person is really on the sort of move in terms of trying to go after a particular goal or task that they have. And they're the type of they're the type of person who is very ambitious. They're also extremely supportive. The Knight of Wands is one of these energies that they not only are, you know, sort of working towards their own goals, their own passion, but they are also extremely sort of supportive of other people that they care about and other people's passions. The Knight of Wands is sort of that ultimate cheerleader or that ultimate support group, you know, support base that you may have. They can find certainly ways to get towards their goal, right? Sometimes they're unconventional paths that they may take. But at the end of the day, it's all about racing towards that objective, right? Now, you're resonating with Strength energy, 8 major arcana. And so, Pisces, this week for you, it's all about you really controlling your emotions, not being a slave to your emotions, being able to make the right decisions and the right choices for yourself without sort of involving, you know, the feelings of jealousy or anger and things like that, right? So Strength is all about the ability to make the right decisions in your life, regardless of the emotional state that you may be in. Not letting your emotions sort of rule you, not letting your emotions sort of, you know, guide you in the sense of making you make decisions out of haste or make decisions out of anger, right? So it's very, very strong. It's also the card for boundaries. And so this week you're definitely sort of dealing with a lot of boundaries that you're putting in place with people to maintain your strength. Now here we go into what is quite interesting. How you see each other. Your person sees you as the Knight of Cups, which is well, the Knight of Cups is the one who's pursuing. The Knight of Cups is the one who is actually making it known that he's interested. He's the romantic. He wants to sweep you off your feet. He is, however, not all that committed oftentimes. And that's not because he doesn't want to be committed, but the Knight of Cups is just barely getting to scratch the surface of his own emotions. He's really just learning and finding out about himself now, right? And so a lot of times the Knight of Cups is not that committed because one day they may feel one thing and the next day they feel something different, and they feel both things just as strongly and equally. They're honest feelings, but they may be different, right? So the one day they tell you they love you, they mean it. And if tomorrow they say, well, you know what, I'm ready to go do this instead, they mean that too, right? So Knight of Cups is not generally somebody who's purposely trying to hurt you, but somebody who's kind of on their own journey of self-discovery with regard to their feelings and their desires. It just so happens that right now what they desire is you. It is, however, a feeling of romance, a feeling of wanting to be swept off your feet, of being courted or wooed, and it's a really nice feeling, certainly in the beginning of a relationship. You see them as the they see you, excuse me, you see them as a Seven of Swords. So this is quite interesting. Why do you see them as a Seven of Swords? You know, Seven of Swords is futile. It's treachery. I'm not sure that you trust them, right? So it's interesting that they would see you as the Knight of Cups. They view you as somebody who is interested in them, somebody who is sort of the hunter in a relationship. And they do, I think, to a certain degree, believe that you are absolutely after them for this connection. But it's interesting that you would see them as a cheat, right? The way you see it, because Seven of Swords is someone who's treacherous, someone who's the thief in the night. This is someone who generally will cut corners and try to achieve things by, taking the shortcut. They don't really want to put the effort or commitment into something. Oftentimes, Seven of Swords is very treacherous. This is someone who can also be very close to you, right? But in behind closed doors, they sort of stab you in the back. Oftentimes, they covet you. They covet what you have and want what you have. Interesting that you would see them like this. It could be that right now you're kind of going through something with this individual, right? You may be seeing something in them, or may have found out something about their behavior that they don't know that you know about. Because Seven of Swords is oftentimes a very behind the scenes energy. I often say that, when things are going wrong, or when you feel like you're being sabotaged, but you can't really tell where it's coming from, it's usually somebody very close to you, somebody, because the people who are closest to us are the ones who can really hurt us the most. And oftentimes they're the ones who want to. You got to think about it. Nobody cares about the person who lives up the street that you don't know. They're not going to waste their energy on that, So generally people who really take an interest in undermining you are usually people who know you, are either close to you, or there is some kind of connection there that is drawing this negative energy towards you. Yet and still, you see them as this. So you've recognized this in them. And I'm not sure if they know that you've seen this. And this is where it gets quite interesting. Could be another reason why you're resonating with strength energy this week, Pisces, because you, I think to a certain degree, if this is your reading, then you're also at the same time trying to keep it a little bit under wraps yourself that you know about this, right? Now the Sun is coming in and the Ace of Swords. This is how you respectively see yourselves in the relationship. Your person sees the relationship as the Sun and their place in it as the Sun, and you see Ace of Swords and your place in it as Ace of Swords. So the Sun, of course, brings clarity and growth, but it also brings a little bit of fame and attention, right? And I think in this particular situation, your person is resonating with a feeling of being the center of your world. I think they believe that they are the center of your world, and I think that they believe... they already see you as a Knight of Cups coming towards them. So they already have this strong belief that you are absolutely into them, want them, hunting them. And here with the Sun, intuitionally, I'm getting the feeling that it's more about them than it is about growth in a relationship. They feel like they're really, the bee's knees, right? And they feel like they're the shit. They feel like, they're at the center of everybody's world. It could be that right now in their lives, they may indeed be experiencing a lot of success and maybe even fame and money in their career. And it's one of these type of things that could be going to their head. But in any case, in this relationship, they're feeling extremely confident. You, however, see yourself as Ace of Swords, see the relationship as Ace of Swords. So there's a new truth coming in here, right? There is a truth that you see in this relationship coming in, and it may be coming in for you about who you are, about the type of person you are, the type of relationships that you fall into. This is a real awakening for you. This relationship is really bringing an awakening to you about certain facts in your life, or certain, I want to say, aspects of your life. And now they're becoming very, very clear. And I'm certainly, this aspect here we're talking about is your love life, right? So there is something that you're learning here. Ace of Swords is all about learning, new understandings coming in, right? Can also be a feeling of vindication and victory. So in a lot of ways, it's like, so interesting. I almost feel like you guys are on two totally different pages, in a sense that they believe everything is okay. And you, however, are realizing some really, you're realizing some truths here, and you're seeing some things here that are really more about the true nature of this connection. And I think you're really keeping it to yourself. I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't really be surprised if you're dealing with somebody who's so kind of full of themselves in a lot of ways that they don't even realize that you're seeing through their facade, right? That you're seeing through kind of whatever image they have of themselves. This Seven of Swords card, like I said earlier, gives me a lot of pause for thought, because to see somebody as the Seven of Swords is really quite negative. It's really quite toxic. And it is really a feeling of being betrayed, right? This feels to me strongly like you guys are in two totally different places, in a sense that they haven't caught on yet that you realize whatever games that they're playing. They may indeed be playing games. You certainly are seeing games being played, but they certainly have not caught on to that. And it almost feels like, you know, this is the moment before it all sort of comes out in the open, that you find out that they've been up to certain things, or they've been doing certain things, right, that you simply don't appreciate. Now, Seven of Swords can also be the card for futility, and it may just be that you see them as being very futile in their lives. It could be that they haven't done anything treacherous to you per se, but something about the way they carry themselves, you realize that they really don't put any real effort into things, right? And so things never seem to work out for them. Again, this is a little bit of a turnoff for you, Pisces, right? Certainly, if you're resonating with strength energy, this is becoming quite emotional for you. You might be getting quite aggravated with them, quite irritated with them, right? You're trying to stay calm and not really let those emotions out, because once again, I do believe that this is a situation where you're really not trying to show your hand right now. Let's pull some clarifiers just to see where you are at a little deeper, and then we'll go ahead and pull out the messages from the romance angels and go from there. Well, your person is resonating with Three of Swords. There you have it. Right there, I was going to call out Three of Swords a minute ago, in the sense that this is a reading where maybe later on, the next reading, if it pertains to the same situation, you're going to find out that this is a Three of Swords moment where somebody has really sort of betrayed you. There's the Hermit. And there's the Two of Pentacles. Wow, money is involved also. Interesting. Wow, wow, wow. Well, there you go. Seven of Swords is all about treachery. I'm realizing the treachery, right? Like I said, you're not necessarily letting them know that you know about it just yet. There is money involved. You could be financially entwined with this individual, which might be another reason why you don't quite want them to know that you are aware of what's going on just yet, because you want to maintain, here's your Two of Pentacles, you want to maintain your financial stability. But Three of Swords is right there. Yeah, they've betrayed your trust, right? This person has definitely betrayed your trust. Three of Swords energy is when you have a connection with somebody, and it's interesting because a lot of times Three of Swords is kind of interpreted as a cup card. It is not. It is a swords card. And so really what's going on here is usually Three of Swords is a situation where a certain level of trust and bonding has already been established. You already trust each other. You've already shared honest feelings with each other, and yet somebody has broken that bond or that trust, right? They've stabbed you in the back. And so it feels like a real blow to the psyche, a real blow to the ego. Oftentimes it feels like we've been tricked in some way. And so it really, really hurts. Of course, cheating on you, third-party energy, which is like the go-to interpretation for this card, is a very oversimplified example of this energy. But at the heart of what's really painful here is the fact that you've been betrayed. And you can be betrayed in a lot of ways. Somebody can betray you simply by telling your secrets. Somebody can betray you by convincing you that they're going to treat you well, and in the end, they treat you terribly. Yes, they can betray you by cheating on you. A very simple example of it. But like I said, that's the go-to interpretation. Here we're really just talking about really, really you finding out that they've been up to all kinds of shiesty stuff. Three of Wands, although another three, we have 2 3s here. Again, 3 being the number for bonding, loyalty, virtue, and patience. 3 of Swords, we find the bonding broken. 3 of Wands is all about the patience. It's all about the waiting. And it's interesting because your person is resonating with that. Right now, they are maybe waiting. It could be. They could be sort of at a standstill right now, thinking that everything is kind of going along just well, just fine. 3 of Wands. You know, a lot of times 3 of Wands is this feeling of having to wait until some information, an event, or some news or an occurrence comes in before you make your next move, right? And I think to a certain degree, your person is dealing with this energy. They may be biding their time. They may be waiting. They may be playing you and somebody else off of each other to a certain degree, or they may be sort of hedging their bets in love, if you know what I mean, to see who they're going to stay with, to see which one they're going to go with or which one turns out. This is it feels like a very, combined with 3 of Swords, it feels like a very selfish energy, kind of like, well, I've got someone over here. An example would be if they are indeed with somebody else, and if that is the nature of the disloyalty, it's kind of like, well, I got two fires going here, and I'm just going to keep them both going until I see which one works out. It's a very opportunistic way of looking at relationships. Certainly, like I said earlier, they believe that they are sort of the shit, They feel like, of course, you're the Knight of Cups, you're hunting them. They resonate with the Sun in the relationship. It's all about them. So you're definitely dealing with somebody, I believe, who's very egocentric, very all about me, me, me. And you're witnessing that and seeing that. There is, however, money involved. So you're resonating with the Hermit and 2 of Pentacles. You are definitely wanting to pull away in this relationship, right? And I think the strength that you are exhibiting here and resonating here with is because you realize that pulling away may indeed cause a lot of financial upheaval. 2 of Pentacles is really a chaotic up and down situation financially. And I think that you may be involved, this person, this relationship, may be a relationship where they indeed have the purse strings. They may have the money. They may be supporting you financially, or they may be giving you a nice life financially, making it easier for you. You realize that the moment this information comes out and the realization of you knowing what they're up to comes out, that this could all come to a screeching halt and really cause a lot of financial chaos in your life. So to a certain degree, I'm going to say this is certainly a Pisces who is now just pulling away, pulling into their Hermit. Slowly but surely pulling away, and coming up, and I'm going to say Ace of Swords, at the same time, the way you see yourself in this relationship, like I said earlier, it's a real awakening, but also Ace of Swords is very solution orientated. So we're talking about a feeling, I believe, here, Pisces, where you're trying to figure out the best way to get out of this situation or to move on or to pull your energy away without experiencing too much financial upheaval. Right? So I think you're going to come up with that. I think the message is going to become clear to you this week, March 1st through the 8th. You're certainly thinking about it. You want to come out of this relationship victorious. Right? Ace of Swords is all about victory. It's a vindication. I think that, certainly you want to walk away from this intact, right? I do believe you want to walk away. Certainly you want to be more solitary than connected to this person because of this 7 of Swords. You know what they're up to, right? And so now this is very much survival mode. This is very much sort of Pisces in damage control mode. And how can I get away from this shiesty individual by also maintaining myself financially, maintaining my strength. And part of this is going to be you putting boundaries in place. There are certain boundaries that you're going to need to start putting in place with this person to set yourself up for this move. And it is a move because you have the Fool at the bottom of the deck, and that really does indicate a new chapter in your life starting. And the Fool generally is a movement or a change or a new chapter that is starting for you and you only. It's a very individual move in life. It's not a move that necessarily we make together with others, like a chariot move or something like that. It is you making progress in your life, ascending or moving on to another chapter. And so this is a very strong experience for your own personal sort of wisdom, right? Gain of wisdom and gain of experience. Let's pull out your romance angel messages just to see. Unrequited love. I already know what card that is. And we have very soon. Well, there you go. Very soon, going to be leaving. There's unrequited love here in a lot of ways. It could be that this person has unrequited love for you, or that you have unrequited love for them. There just isn't enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And at the end of the day, this is what it is. Very soon, you're going to be making a move. And again, I do, there's not one cup card here. There is no, well, besides the Knight of Cups, but this is how they see you, right? In sort of chasing them, right? But there's no union cup here. There's no cards that talk about a real affectionate connection or a soulmate connection or anything like that, right? This is very sort of individual. And so it makes perfect sense that unrequited love will come up, because at the end of the day, it seems to me like your person is really dealing with things on a very sort of self-centered, convenience type of attitude, and you are just waking up to that. And so you're definitely making moves, you're definitely making decisions, and very soon really talks about deciding what you want so that it comes to you now. So now is the time truly for you to decide, how do you want to move forward? How do you want to sort of transcend this relationship? This is definitely an experience. This is definitely something you're wanting to come out of victorious to a certain degree. You don't want this to sort of beat you down in any kind of way. And so just be very clear about how you make your next steps. Two of Pentacles does indicate chaos financially, but don't worry, that eventually sort of simmers down and you do settle somewhere. But in the short term, Two of Pentacles can certainly indicate a lot of upheaval, especially if you're moving or getting out of relationships that are affecting your overall financial stability. So there is that. But, like I said, be very clear about what it is you want, and realize that somewhere along the line there is a lack of love or true trust and bonding here. So it's really up to you how you want to handle that. All right, Pisces, March 1st through the 8th. This is your love outlook into a possible connection that some Pisces out there has with someone. Of course, this reading is not for everyone, but if it is for you and you enjoyed it, and if you like my readings, you like my style of readings and my approach to reading the tarot, then please do like and subscribe to my channel, because that really helps me grow my channel. This is what I do for a living, this channel. So I do put my heart and soul into it, and I do hope that you enjoy it and that you get something out of it. For right now, Pisces, have a wonderful week, and I shall see you next week for your love outlook. Bye-bye now.